Welcome back to Think Quiz. Are you a true soccer fan? Prove your knowledge about the world's biggest tournament. Before starting, please subscribe to the Think Quiz channel for more exciting quizzes. All right, let's start with the first one. Which nation has appeared in every single World Cup tournament? Exactly, Brazil is never missing. Who holds the record for the most goals scored in a single tournament? That's right, he scored 13 goals. Who created the World Cup? That's right, he proposed them. What was the name of the dog that found the stolen trophy in 1966? A true hero with a very wet nose. Who is the oldest player to ever score a goal in a World Cup? Correct! He was 42 years old. In 1950, which team withdrew because they weren't allowed to play barefoot? Exactly, they didn't want to wear shoes. Which player has won the most World Cup titles? Well done, he has 3 trophies. When was the first World Cup? Correct, that was the year. In which country was the first World Cup held? Good job, it was in Uruguay. Who scored the fastest goal in World Cup history? Correct, it only took him 11 seconds. Which country was the first to host the World Cup twice? Yes, in 1970 and 1986. What was the first World Cup mascot called? A lion in a Union Jack jersey. Which goalkeeper has the most clean sheets in World Cup history? Ten clean sheets, absolute wall. Which team has received the most red cards in World Cup history? Good, the Brazil team plays rough. Who is the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history? Correct, the ultimate poacher. How often is the World Cup played? Well done, it's every 4. What was the original name of the World Cup trophy? Named after the tournament founder. Which country won the first ever World Cup? Exactly, they were the champions. Which player holds the record for most World Cup appearances? Correct, he's already played 26 matches. How many teams participated in the first World Cup? a much smaller affair back then. Which country hosted the 2022 World Cup? Exactly, it was in Qatar. Which country won the 2022 World Cup? Well done, it was Argentina. Which host nation is the only one to be eliminated in the group stage? Correct! They failed to advance. How long does a match last according to the regulations? Exactly, that's what the rules say. Which country has played in the most World Cup matches without a win? 9 games, 0 wins. Ouch. What was the score of the highest scoring match in history? Austria vs. Switzerland, 1954. Chaos. Which player scored the famous Hand of God goal? Correct. The legend of Argentina. Which country hosted the 2018 World Cup? Correct. A very cold place. In which year was the first World Cup televised? Correct. That was the year. Which team holds the record for the most goals in a single game? Perfect. That is the name. In which country was the 2014 World Cup held? That's right, it was in Brazil. Which country won the World Cup in 1966? Well done. The only time they won? Which countries played in the 2022 final? Great job! That was the grand finale. Who scored the winning goal for Germany in the 2014 final? Exactly. He gave Germany the victory. Which nation was the first Asian team to reach the semifinals? In 2002 was a wild ride for them. What was the name of the 2010 World Cup ball? Correct! That ball was really cool. Which country hosted the 2010 World Cup? Well done, it was quite an event. Which countries played in the 2010 final? Exactly, that was the grand final. Which country won the 2010 World Cup? Exactly, Spain took the cup. Which team didn't concede a single goal in the 2006 tournament? Knocked out without conceding. Crazy. Which country won the 2018 World Cup? Well done, France won. Which player was nicknamed the Black Pearl? Exactly, the legend of Brazil. Which country has won the most World Cup titles? Well done, they are the Kings. Which countries played in the 2018 final? Great, it was an epic match. Who scored the winning goal in the 2010 final? Correct, he gave Spain the victory. Which player was sent off for a headbutt in the 2006 final? Correct. After that, he retired. Which stadium hosted the final with the highest attendance? Nearly 200,000 people in 1950. Which countries played in the 2014 final? Good, it's the third time they compete. Which was the first country to win 2 consecutive World Cups? Exactly, it was Italy. Which was the second country to win 2 consecutive World Cups? Correct! No one else has achieved it. Choose your next challenge and don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing content.